So where are we today?
This is the Donald J. Trump Presidential Twitter Library. Everybody at The Daily Show, we sat around and we started looking closer at the president's tweets over the last couple of years. Everyone in our digital department started looking at ones, and you start noticing certain patterns. There's a lot of tweets where he's arguing with celebrities. There's a lot of tweets where he's trying to end people's careers. There's a lot of contradictions. There's stuff about policy. So when you really start looking at all of the president's work, you see, oh, well, this is an exhibit. You know, Barack Obama's all about books. Our president's all about Twitter. So we felt like the best way to give people the experience of walking through the brain of our commander-in-chief is to just put it all on the wall. This is all the people he's argued and talked trash about. Talked trash about Jeb Bush, talked trash about Rod Patterson. Over here, those are the verified survivors. Those are people that he's talked trash about, but somehow they still persevered. And I'm not sure whether you leave this library feeling better about the country or more horrified, but you'll definitely feel something.
Earlier this week, ABC canceled Roseanne after Roseanne sent a racist tweet about Valerie Jarrett, comparing her to an ape. What was your reaction to that tweet and ABC's decision to cancel the show?
I was shocked that ABC made the decision to cancel Roseanne. I feel like the mistake we make as performers sometimes is making jokes off the stage. And this goes for any comedian. I just feel like the safest place, if you want to say something that has some edge, that really was a joke, that you really didn't intend to be taken that way, the safest place to say it is on the stage. Twitter's a trap. You're at the mercy of other people's interpretations. You have no vocal inflection, you have no performance, you have no body language, and it doesn't matter whether or not I agree with Roseanne calling someone an ape. I don't agree with that. But the safest place to even attempt that, it ain't Twitter. If it's one thing that Twitter has done consistently is chew up careers over stuff that's written.
Roy, you're the father of a toddler. What will you tell your son when he's older about what it's like to be a black man in America?
My son has to understand that being black is a gift and that sometimes it's a burden. You know, everybody goes, have you had the big talk? When are you gonna have the talk? And you know, they're talking about the birds and the bees. To me, the big talk is how to deal with the police and instructing my son on that relationship. It's something that I think about all the time, man, because, you know, being black is a job sometimes, and my son's got to know that he's on the clock 24/7.
We heard about the March for Our Lives in D.C., but there was another march going down all the way out in Helena, Montana. And out here at this march, people were taking a stand for the real victims of gun violence: guns.
For The Daily Show, when the March for Our Lives rally was taking place to protest gun violence in schools, you were actually at a pro-gun rally in Montana. What did that experience teach you about people who oppose gun restriction?
There are a lot of people who oppose gun restriction who are level-headed. Everybody thinks that someone, just because they want the Second Amendment, that they got 8 guns and 12 Rambo bazookas in their back pocket and they're all lunatics. There were a lot of level-headed people that were just making arguments for wanting their guns, and I think that the problem is that we only hear the extremes in one another. And I was very happy that I went to the pro-gun rally and had an opportunity to talk to these people. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people who are pro-gun who, in my opinion, are out there. Anytime you think a kid that got shot at a high school is a paid actor, there's something wrong with you, period. But the problem is that people who will call a Parkland kid a crisis actor overshadow the level-headed people who go, let's tiptoe into legislation. I'm open to legislation. Let's figure out a way to legislate this without it getting out of hand, because it is a slippery slope. It was dope to be able to get to Montana to talk to those people.
What's the challenge of tackling these difficult subjects such as racism and gun violence through comedy? Is there a risk, for example, of belittling these issues by finding humor in them?
The joke is never on the issue. The joke is on the argument and the prevention of it. We would never tell a joke about someone getting shot, but the joke is on how do we keep this from happening, and who are the people that are keeping this from happening again. And I think that's where the humor is. And I think if we can laugh about it, you're more willing to talk about it. And if you're willing to talk about it, then you're closer to a solution. So I feel like the jokes have to happen.
How do you decide what stories to cover on The Daily Show?
The Daily Show, that's a whole nother world. Like, we'll look at the news and we'll try and find, if we can say something that we believe is different from what other shows are saying, then we'll say it. And then sometimes it's just about figuring out what issues are important to us. You know, there's issues where it may not be national news. I covered a story about some stuff that's happening on the Mississippi River with a boondoggle with the Army Corps of Engineers. Not a big news story, but it's something that affected people. It's something that economically and environmentally was ruining the country. And thankfully, right before President Obama got out of office, he changed it. I like to believe that my story is the reason that I be. You're welcome, Missouri. That's what I tell myself at night before I go to bed.
Roy, thank you so much. It was great talking with you. Yeah, thank you.